Ooh. This is insane, eh? What is life? Hey guys, Mikey here. Thank you so much for tuning into another video. Today's video is going to be about a trip that I did with a few friends down south a little while ago to Queenstown. For those of you who don't know, Queenstown is regarded as the tourism capital of New Zealand, and it's home to a lot of kind of outdoorsy activities and mountains and waterfalls and lakes and all that kind of stuff that I guess New Zealand is quite famous for to the rest of the world. So we've got a good friend that's been living there for the last few years, and we've kind of been visiting there ever since. So it's really beautiful, and yeah, we love it there. Anyway, so this trip we wanted to do something a little bit different. We didn't really have any plan going into the trip, to be honest, and we were booking things on the day and taking things day by day kind of thing. But yeah, we knew that we wanted to do something different, something big, something cool. So we decided to do a kayaking tour, 4.5-hour kayaking tour of Milford Sound. Now Milford Sound is arguably the most popular tourism destination in the country. It's home to the Milford Track, which you may have heard of. The Milford Track has been said to be one of the most scenic and beautiful hikes in the entire world. So it's a really, really amazing area, and yeah, I'll tell you now that the kayak tour that we did was one of the most amazing and kind of surreal experiences that I've ever had in my entire life. Obviously Milford Sound itself is just amazing, but due to the time that we went there, because of COVID and what's going on at the moment, there was literally no one else there. So we turned up, and I think we saw one other tour boat the entire day. We had the tour guide to ourselves, and yeah, it was just this surreal, quiet, once in a lifetime kind of experience. So you'll see later on in the video that yeah, it was just insane. This is still a photography channel, and the video will revolve around the photography that I did while I was there. Being in such an amazing place made for some really great landscape photography, which is something that I don't usually do, but it was quite cool to kind of try something new and get out of my comfort zone in terms of photography. So I'll talk about the gear and all the kind of stuff that I used while I was down there later on in the video, but for now I'll just get straight into the footage. And yeah, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoy it, and yeah, enjoy. Cheers. Okay, so Milford Sound is about a 4-hour drive from Queenstown itself. So we decided to stay in Tiano, which is a town that's about halfway between the two places. So this is us driving from Tiano to Milford Sound. We got up at around, I think we left at around 6 AM in the morning to get there for about 8 o'clock, I believe. So you can see here we stopped as well a few times to get a few photos of the amazing landscape. I'm not sure if you can tell, but you can see that the photos are a little bit grainier than what I usually shoot. The reason for that is because honestly photography became a bit secondary at times. I was just taking in the scenes and I wasn't focused on my exposure settings, so a lot of these photos in the dark are underexposed. So it took a bit of work in Lightroom just to bring them up, and the result of that is a bit more grain than I would usually like, but I still like the photos, so I decided to post them anyway. But you'll see as the day goes on in these next photos coming up, the exposure's a lot better and a lot more crisp, which is what I usually like, but it's all personal preference. Yeah, there you go, much better in my opinion. But yeah, the landscape, the place that we were driving through was it was insane. Just massive mountains on either side, a lot of waterfalls. It's fantastic. Okay, so I just want to quickly talk about the photography and the gear that I used when I went on this trip. I took down my X-Pro2 and my 23mm f2 as usual. And I took down my film camera as well, but I didn't use that one at all. My mate that lives there is also a Fuji shooter. He usually does a lot of sport photography as he works in the golf industry. So I was able to borrow kind of his big kind of telephoto lenses. I think it was a 50 to 135 maybe. I can't remember. It was a big one that I could kind of mess around with, and it was a lot more ideal to kind of get those close-up shots of the mountains that you'll see here. The 23, although I do like just having that one prime lens, there was a few kind of different sort of photos that I was hoping to get for this trip, so the lenses that he had worked out really, really well. One thing I did find being in a place like Milford Sound is that it's impossible to get a bad photo, but it's also really, really hard to get a good photo. And what I mean by that is it's quite easy to get distracted by what's around you, because everywhere you turn there's another amazing mountain or another huge waterfall. So you kind of it's easy to get lost in what you actually want to shoot. And I found that I just wanted to take photos of everything, and not every photo was very good. So yeah, it's a little bit different street where a moment can disappear in like a split second, whereas in landscape photography, that mountain and that river and that waterfall, it's not really going anywhere, right? So I think it's important to really take your time and kind of figure out the best frame in a particular scene. And that was kind of a good learning experience for me. After looking back at these photos, I was like, whoa, there's a lot of missed opportunity, and I took like 10 photos when I really only needed that kind of one. So if you're doing landscape photography, yeah, I mean, what I learned from here is just to really take my time next time and just find the kind of perfect frame everywhere I go. Try to find that perfect frame. But yeah, nonetheless, it was a great learning experience. And honestly, on this trip, I found, like I said before, that photography kind of became secondary. I think it's important when you're in such a beautiful place is just to take a moment, put the camera down, and almost just kind of live in the moment, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I didn't do as much photography as I previously have when I was down there. I just kind of really tried to take in the sights, and obviously this video is a lack of footage, but that's okay. I'm totally fine with that. But yeah. Anyway, on with the video. There's quite a few more photos coming up, so I hope you enjoy it. Cheers.